Beanoblack, folks. I'm basically just re-showing this one shot from up in Canada the other night because basically we proved because that's the angle of north, and the idea that if you go to this date and time and so forth and so on, you will know that you do not have Jupiter and Venus here. This is not, because that is your direction north. Basically, Jupiter and Venus was down here somewhere, and that we did get a photographic hologram of a 3D, and there are lots of stars and so forth and objects that rotate and give 3D viewing. And we may have actually gotten a view of this triangulation and that triangulation. That there's a little bit there and there if you blow it up and so forth and so on. I can't do this because I'm basically going back to the footage, and it also could be farther this way, but the moon did it, okay, and the moon is over here, and yes, this is a holograph of it, okay, but let me play so you get a little bit closer look at that shot. And then refreeze here, and basically you see that more than likely, and it's factual because it's sitting right here in front of your eyes, it's this triangulation here. And yes, probably constellations, but then again, you have to go research. And if you go to the video, I basically show on this video, I show the constellation map for the evening live, pretty much. Okay, so you just get a dramatic shot of what we got out there in space. So either that, I mean, the only possible that this could be Jupiter, and if someone looks the same, but we have also seen the certain marks on Saturn also of late. But the only way that this could be is if they have their arrow completely wrong, okay, on this Canadian webcam for basically their Asgard up there. And it's not, because they want everybody to know exactly. And then no matter what is that? Okay? Because yes, it may be an illumination of the moon, but it's an illumination of the moon off of the triangulations that we just more than likely showed you. Okay? That basically are either bam, 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 or bam, bam, bam. And no matter what, you get that object there. So, and then we're basically getting to a little bit what I will admit, the macabre. But it is data. It is old data, because basically it's saved in a painting. So let's go take a look at this. Basically, I let this finish playing here, because then basically I ended up with the screens, and there is your constellation map for that night. And there's a movie that night on that night sky. Okay, so a lot of stuff from the U.S. Asgard on there, I believe, too, on that one. And everybody knows the United States pretty good, but these were all the meteors that were seen last night. So, and I mean, people just independently call in from, and don't get me wrong, but the idea we know all this stuff's going on up in the sky. So, it's all being seen. Farallon Islands and out in Concord. I thought there was one at Concord last night, I think that got saw, but I could have been wrong on that. Maybe they just counted down or something, who knows. So a lot of meteorite. And everybody that was saying no, 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 basically, there's Jupiter. Okay, if you go to Artist, you'll see that that is Jupiter. And basically, it barely popped in the view, because basically, A is looking at the sun, and it barely popped into the view on the side shot, that the object that we found. So I kind of knew and figured it would be either Jupiter or something, and it was, because that's Jupiter. I mean Venus, as you see. Sorry about that. I was just plopping back in and seeing the part of the video, so I figured, well, but Venus was barely popped in there. So if I said Jupiter in the video also, probably more likely I wasn't back listening to my audio or anything either. But if so, I apologize. Human But basically, like I just corrected myself there, and usually a lot of times I'll go, well, is this? And this is, but usually by the end of the video, you'll know what object it was. So that was Venus, and it barely popped into view. And I could be wrong, and we'll see the guide here and again in a second. And I think that was behind, and I might have said that wrong, but whatever. Okay, so Stereo B caught Venus that day on that red Stereo B shot that I showed you. So if I said Venus during the video, I'm human. And it's not a retraction, it's just admitting, I always admit when I'm wrong. So, and basically really wasn't wrong, because I just knew on the video that I thought, well, it could be Jupiter, because we figured it would be the biggest thing, but then you get an idea that when in the video, Venus is flaring very big, reacting to all this CME action, because this, even though it's green, it is CME action, okay? It's just lighter, I think, as far as the intensity goes. So everybody needs to remember that we have that triangulations that we have out there, lots of them, in this kind of big gigantic liver or kidney bean Oort cloud that's out there that we see at nighttime, and we have more than one of them. So basically this is going to an old painting, and no folks, it's not a stain, that was actually painted there, okay? And I think that is of Mary, okay? Now this is BS here, I don't really care about this, but also we have this that's blown up and you can see it more clearly, and then you also have this activity over here, okay? So this is an old painting of Mary, and I don't even know the name of it, but you need to look it up and take some very close looks at it, because they're not stains. The stuff was actually painted and put there in the sky, okay? So we have had and been around these triangulations before. We go around the sun 365 point whatever days, okay? But as our rotation through our Milky Way galaxy, and since we are melding with more than one galaxy right now, more than likely, because it doesn't matter, no matter what, we're getting strange activity through the supergiants, and also through all the shots from SOHO, you can see that stuff is melding together somehow. And this stuff has happened before, or something quite close to it has happened before, i.e., and not the UFOs. Vino is not UFO. Forget this crap on that, but that is an Oort cloud that we end up seeing in the evening, and also this stuff, and we see lots of these triangulation things out in space, okay? So even an artist from ages ago will help us remember stuff. Basically looking for authentication on this. I had a lot of people tell me to get down there and take a look, and I just hadn't had time. And it's very interesting. And basically what very looks truthful on it is the idea, just factual, your eyes, you can see the glistening that this one of the supergiant's suns is actually glistening on whatever object is in space, in the sky view, because you see the glistening of the light down here on this here, and also there, okay? And pretty much is very constructive, very structural, very factual. You see it, and until it can get refuted somehow, that somebody can show an actual footage of the movie that doesn't show it there, it'd be very interesting to see if anybody uploaded the date and time on the 31st of this year, and to see if we see that. And then that's more than likely with our big shadow that we've been seeing all the time, and they don't want to let us know. So it'd be interesting to know if this possibly, they're wrong on the size of Orcus or Orca. And there's different names too that NASA has, and so forth and so on. So no matter what, a dwarf of something, and then when they call things dwarf stars and all that stuff like that, then it's other kind of either Earth or moons, because basically Earth was a star at one time, okay? And we're a habitable planet, okay? And we're in the temperature zone, okay? And there is zone through space of temperature. So everybody needs to do a little verification to see if this thing was probably actually there and not some kind of imprint, because people mess with photos. I don't. Okay, So actually, this is the first time you've ever even seen me put something over top of it, anything on a photo besides my cursor. Okay, and we love the German scientists and all the scientists that work out and help out the German scientists down there at Neumeier. And I appreciate the friend that, and basically as you see, Neumeier imprints their video so that you can see it. Either that or I got some kind of glare off of the sign, but I think their signature eyes are in there, you know. And we have the right to politically copyright, share, and educate 1976, Statute 107, okay, or whatever. Just referred to number 107, copyright for education, political sharing, so forth and so on. Free speech, anyway, Constitution, so that's part of it. That holds up everything. So this is very interesting, and because basically it looks very realistic. And I think it's authentic, and it probably can be easily authentic by just somebody playing a video of the video action in motion. Okay, so it'd be interesting if somebody could throw that out to us. And thank goes out to Meinhausen. And I don't know if it's one of the scientists down there or not, but watch the ticker. So it's important to watch the tickers on the action, because then he takes and goes and doesn't let you see the ticker. So that's what's kind of a little goofy about this whole thing. But let's watch it now. I think we'll have the ticker action. But then see, someone could impose that ticker, and it kind of does look like somebody might have messed with the ticker. So you really got to watch that. Watch that ticker. I don't know if basically you could just snatch it off of a video camera. Just get the same web. So let's watch this. See how it changes. So it's kind of starting to wonder if it's hokey or what. So everybody needs to take from this what they can take from it, okay? Because you see the clock ticking by. And you never know if this could be Karasov psyop BS trying to get people in trouble while you're trying to scare because you're being a terrorist or something. So we never name drop and we never ethnic, but Karasov is a private corporation. Psyops BS, so it doesn't really matter. And if they're going to get hey, we didn't do it, well, whatever, you do shit to people all the flipping time. So it's interesting to watch this clock and to see it, because it has like this might have been messed with. But so it'd be very, very awesome if someone could just give a total play of 212, 131, and then we would be even loving Mr. Meinhausen or liking, okay? Americans and just about everybody in the world is so easy on putting out that L word anymore, but we would like if someone could refute or authenticate, because the ticker and everything looks like a little bit messed with. And I believe that we have, and I think I'm still recording, and let me see, and if I am, then you might know that basically that was Karasov BS, possibly, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have to see, because basically, and I'm sure anybody's been on YouTube and been watching the stuff that we've been watching lately, you get this, okay? So who's fear-mongering, who's putting the poop? Now, we know that blotch in front of the sun exists on all the Neumeier action, okay? But what they're trying to do is make everybody psychologically go, well, everybody's been screwing with us. Beano's been screwing us with. Everybody's been screwing with us. It's some kind of a cult out there, okay? It's a bunch of horse hockey, okay? So everybody needs to take from this recording of looking at it and seeing, and then just the simple fact. If no one ends up with another recording that's very authentic and goes playing front to back without being screwed with, and I did not screw with those photos, whoever put that videotape up, and are they Karasov opping, psyopping Meinhausen 74, okay? Somebody could get in trouble, get arrested, and someone could just keep on playing with somebody's YouTube site. You see what I'm saying? So it'd be nice to hear from Mr. Meyerhausen. It'd be nice to hear from anybody to just give straight out the Niedermeyer action on that date. Okay? So Beano Black, Bustin' Balls 24.